Hey, what's up? It's Tuesday, so making my little thing a little bit earlier than usual because we've got grade finder crap to do today and get pretty far on maxing up the Valor so I can work on the alts. So, kind of some sad news, actually horribly crushing news for apparently what happened yesterday, is I'm not necessarily sure how much I should take this, but it's been over 24 hours now since I found out, and I didn't want to say anything at first because it may have been a mistake, it may have been whatever. I have apparently been removed from the LGBTA, Elite First Order, fleet on Star Trek Online. How much do I read into the fact that, a fleet that professes being accepting of all people and yada yada has booted someone out? They haven't even given me a reason why. This will make my fourth fleet that has kicked me out with no reason. So that was really depressing because it's like, man, what did I do so wrong that the all-inclusive, tolerant guild didn't even like me? I was like, I barely talked. And I didn't want to offend anyone by something I may mistakenly say. And maybe that was it. I wasn't talkative, whatnot. I mean, there was the thing that I did say a little bit. Anyway, wow, something happened in WoW. I didn't even notice. Yeah, anyway, so, yeah. And I tried to whisper a couple of the members. Nobody responded. Well, one person responded to me. But they considered they were, not high up in, so I tried to talk to the officers. Well, memory serves, I knew which ones the officers were. Whispered one, didn't respond. Whispered another one, didn't respond. Sent mail to one yesterday, being like, is this an error? Did the game bug out or something? And haven't gotten mail back from that person. So I'm a little bit confused. So, hoot-de-doot-de-doot. And it's just like, great. I'm not accepted in the gay fleet. I wasn't liked in what was dubbed a Trekkie fleet because I was too much of one. I was too much of a Trekkie on a Star Trek game and a fleet that professed themselves as, being geared towards Trekkies. But I was too much for them. And I was like, probably too much because, I would talk about Star Trek, and they were being confused about what I was talking about, and thought, whatever. It's like, I can only deduce that fleet was Trekkies, but the original series Trekkies, because I was talking about a lot of the stuff that I grew up with, being, at the time I was 30, and so being 30 years old, I didn't necessarily watch the original series. Not when it was live, to an extent, you know what I mean. Not when it first aired. And I've seen some since then, but I grew up in one of my previous daily blogs, that, I grew up, I started out on Next Generation, and as I started coming into focus in the world, I got really into Deep Space Nine, and then Voyager. Voyager was actually kind of the weird kicker that solidified everything. But I was into Star Trek before that, but like I said, it was just that it solidified. So, yeah, that's all that. So, so it's like I'm not accepted by Trekkies, which is a core component to my existence and, backdrop. Yay, it's raining! Like, I heard the sounds, and I was like, wait a second. You know what you know what rain sounds like. Unless you're young enough and you live in an area that hasn't rained in the last, I don't know, 8 years. Yanquilba. Oh, I gotta fight that person. Yeah, okay. Anyways, so so I wasn't accepted by the Trekkies. I wasn't accepted by, the tolerant LBGTA fleet, and the casual fleet that accepted pretty much anybody for any reason. They didn't accept me. And that's coming down. There was one that pretty much dissolved, and I didn't get a reason for it, but nobody's been in that fleet since. Like, I can't find anybody on, so I believe it just dissolved. Or the person pretty much wanted to keep everything in the bank for themselves. They basically robbed players. But not a big deal. It's just that the fleets that I get unknowingly kicked out of, I give a lot of, starbase progress for, and all of a sudden I log in one day and I'm not in a fleet. And nobody wants to talk to me. So it's like, yeah, shunned by gays, shunned by Trekkies. What do you do in the world? you know. I'd say the last vestige of everything is to be shunned as an adult. And, well, let's see here. The society looks at me as I'm on disability, so I'm a mooch on society. I still play video games, and I don't have a child or a job, yada yada. So really I haven't become an adult, and I didn't vote in the last election, so I'm not doing that. Pretty much the only adult thing I'm doing is driving. Paying bills, but, then the definition of adult, I know, it changes, but in terms of an adult, kind of not hitting all the check marks there, what general people call adult. And so what we got left? Adult, gay, Trekkie, autistic, Asperger's. Well, here's the fun thing about Asperger's. They don't talk to each other. They're not socially, it's weird. It's... Where do I need to go? They don't talk to each other. They're not social. So they don't judge each other for stuff. It's just like, okay. So it's really hard to get shunned by a society that never gets together for meetings. Anyways, you can't have social interaction, you can't shun anyone. And that sounds depressing, but that's, in a weird way, there's probably some Asperger people that may watch this and they kind of laugh. And I'm intending it as a joke. I'm totally intending that as a joke. If it offends you that, you don't get social contact, then, wow, I'm sorry, but, so, yeah. I'm not going to start this fight up. I need both hands for these guys. Anyways. Eggnog. So, I'm going to talk to the roommate when she gets home, see if we want to put anything over, because we have Christmas lights wrapped around our porch, and the plug-ins are basically sitting in a puddle. And I'm not necessarily sure that that's a good thing. Because it's like the extension cord comes out from the wall and goes up to the lights, and they come together, and that thing's sitting kind of near a puddle. I'm like, maybe we could wrap a bag around them or something? So that they don't get wet or something? Because that's what we need. We need electricity arcing onto our porch. That would be interesting. So, yeah. How my life's going. Been watching some of the Vlog Brothers because, well, the more I get to watch people and what they're doing, the better I get at realizing what I need to make better with mine. you know, so like Vlogbrothers, My Drunk Kitchen, SciShow, which seems to be produced quasi-professionally. So, like I said, I'm just trying. And it'll get better the more I refine my art, the more iterations. You know, people are like, "Oh, you didn't make pancakes best the first time." Make them 100 times. Make them 300 times, and you'll pound it out. You'll hash it out pretty easily. So, anyways, I will see you all tomorrow.